Download the BCSN Plus app today.
Well, with the frigid temperature, it's only right that we talk about the Walleye Hockey Organization. As we welcome Matt Melzak, the voice of the Fish. Matt, thank you for coming in on a cold night.
You know what? I went for a run beforehand, Mark. I get into the heat. Now, all of a sudden, I feel comfortable. Let's talk hockey.
All right, Toledo Walleye on the road last weekend. Not the best of weekends. They get 3 points out of the 3 games. Your biggest takeaway from the trip to Iowa and Bloomington?
I think the biggest one to me was you had that second game. That game Saturday, you're up 2-1. 30 seconds to go in the game and unable to hold on. And I think that's where the whole weekend kind of stems a little bit, because obviously it was going to be a tough turnaround to go to Bloomington after that and try to come away with a victory there. I thought Toledo played very well on Sunday. I thought overall they played fine for the weekend, probably deserved better than 3 out of 6 points, but that's where it ends. And I think that Saturday game is the one you're kind of kicking yourself for.
And all-star festivities, just the beginning of a very special week for this little walleye. It's Hockey Heritage Weekend. On Saturday, the newest class of the Hockey Hall of Fame will officially be enshrined, and that includes a pair of former walleye, Evan Rankin and Shane Burschbach.
Yeah, no question about it, Mark. And I think when you look at those two, Evan Rankin was the first walleye player to ever hit 100 goals in a career, and then Shane Burschbach, obviously the all-time leader in points for at least the time being. Brandon Hawkins about to catch him in that regard, closing in on that now. But when you look at those two guys and some of the moments that they have had, you take Evan Rankin, to me the first one, if you ever to ask me, hey, what do you think about him? I always think back to a game early in his career against Charlotte. We were on the road. It was a midnight game. I still remember they had just beat us badly a couple weeks earlier. And I remember their broadcaster saying, well, what are you going to talk about? It's 11:59 puck drop. It's like, what are you going to talk about there for the next couple hours, if it's 1:30 in the morning and the game's not going your way? Well, Evan Rankin went out and scored 5 goals. So I had plenty to talk about. It was him who didn't have a lot to talk about when it got to about 1:30 in the morning and 2 a.m. there in Charlotte. And then for Shane Burschbach, obviously, a big hog of that group that made it the first team to make it to the Kelly Cup Finals, even though they lost to Newfoundland. He was a big reason why that group, and obviously just the playmaking ability from him. There's so many moments you could just run down in your brain how great of a player he was to watch. Just his vision on the ice is as good as I have seen from anyone. Along
with Burschbach and Rankin going into the Hall of Fame, we also got some, it's not fair to say old-timers, but in one case it certainly is fair to say an old-timer.
Yeah, there's some great names going in this class, and I think that's what fans are going to really enjoy is, the great players that are all the way down the line. Let's talk about Andrew Williamson for a moment. One of the greatest goal scorers in the history of the Toledo Storm, and one of the best goal scorers we've ever had in Toledo. So, this group is full of some really good names. It's going to be a great class going in on Saturday.
So that's on Saturday. Now, the Walleye are going to play in Kalamazoo Saturday, 4:30. So you listen to that game on the radio, and then you head over to the ceremony. I think that's the play on Saturday?
That would be the play on Saturday. Now, I'm doing the Hall of Fame banquet, so Jason Griffin will be filling in for me on the radio side. So it's going to be a lot of fun this week to get a one-time Toledo Storm broadcaster on the fill-in side.
Exactly, and that's sandwiched between a pair of home games, Friday and Sunday home. Kalamazoo on Friday, Sunday home for Cincinnati. And that Cincinnati game, you want to get there early.
Yeah, you certainly are, because then we're going to showcase that group, and you have the Brandon Hawkins bobblehead that's going to be given out that day, so that's going to be interesting. And then Friday, you're celebrating this whole weekend. They're celebrating the 70th anniversary of pro hockey in Toledo. A lot of players coming back on Friday. It's going to be great to see.
And we're moving closer and closer to the 100th consecutive sellout for Toledo Walleye hockey. That's coming up very quickly. So if you can't make it out of the game, the home games are right here.
And sidebar, Mark, Toledo will hit halfway through this season this weekend.
All right, looking forward to that. Thank you so much, Matt.
I appreciate it.